Welcome to the PHNX Tailgate, America's favorite tailgate, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's favorite sportsbook app. Look at that. It's all synergy. Go ahead and spin that shit, Emma.
Saul Bookman, Marcos Deniz, a Padre, South Mountain Community College Cougar, and best of all, a Wildcat from the University of Arizona.
Johnny Venerable, Maricopa, Arizona. We have a Denny's and an IHOP.
Bo Brock, the Harvard of Maricopa County, Scottsdale Community College, Fighting Artichoke.
Shane Diefenbach, North Scottsdale Circus School of Arizona. Honk, honk.
Another pick?
Yeah, well, there's a game going on right now, Tampa and Seattle. Looks like Seattle just picked the ball off.
Huh?
Yeah, there we go. Look at that.
But
this is the hangover. Obviously, we talked about the week that was, especially when it comes to college football yesterday. And then we will also get to the Cardinals and all your favorite fun bets. If you've never seen this show, it's complete bullshit. So enjoy. What is not complete bullshit are my Arizona Wildcats, baby.
All right.
Woo! Big time win yesterday. Oh, my God. I don't want to say are we back because we were never there, but fun times last night watching that ball game. I don't know if you guys were, are you guys
awake?
Young enough to stay up that late? I mean, the game did kick off at 8:30, but it was worth every single minute.
Yeah, I was watching the first half from a bar in downtown, and then I saw them take the lead, and I was starting to feel a little weird. And then all of a sudden, fast forward 2 hours later, I see back the A throughout all of my Twitter feed with Mike Luke. I'm like, oh my God, they did the damn thing. Yeah, it's just so impressive, and the Pac-12 continues to cannibalize itself.
Yeah, for sure. UCLA had only had that previous loss to Oregon, and I thought had they played 10 times, it would have split 5-on-5. I still thought going into yesterday, UCLA was a top 1 to 2 team in the Pac-12, and then I watched what your Arizona Wildcats did, and if you don't think that'll do wonders for morale, for recruiting, for legitimacy of this program, you are out of your mind, even if Arizona doesn't make a bowl game. That is the biggest win in, the last 5 years for this program?
Last couple, for sure.
Yeah, on the national stage, it's something that they can build around this entire offseason. To go into UCLA's home stadium and to do that and have the lead at halftime, then subsequently be down and then come back in the fourth quarter. I think they scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. It's great to see. It's great for the state of Arizona, especially with the Pac-12, like so much in flux going forward. And I know our guy Charles in the chat says Pac-12 cannibalism is at its finest. But, I mean, don't tell that to the folks, down in Tucson, because they've been waiting a long time for something like that.
This was a great rivalry on the basketball court, right? So it's got to feel a little bit nice to throw it in UCLA's face. Also, it puts their rival in a position to be the lone representative last gasp for the Pac-12 and USC, who had a big win on Friday night, to potentially represent the conference. Yeah. But, yeah, it was a good win. Here's how it could not matter, is if they lose in the Territorial Cup. If they lose in the Duel in the Desert, it's all a moot point. It doesn't matter. It's a nice win, right? But it doesn't matter if they don't beat the Sun Devils.
I would disagree, because I don't think anybody cares about the Territorial Cup outside of this state.
Well,
and
yeah,
so when you're talking about
all it should care. That's the only people that care right now.
When you're talking about Texas and California recruits, and you're talking about UCLA and USC leaving the Pac-12 next year to go to the Big Ten, so you lose that lifeline to that state. The fact that you just beat UCLA and UCLA, I think, is a great feather in your cap. And also, fuck LA. All right, they basically had penciled in the game. It was ready to go next weekend. It's gonna be UCLA, USC, the battle for LA, 2 top 10 teams, and then they shit the bed. Arizona was fantastic yesterday. All year long, it's been the defense that has been the problem. And yesterday, they were able to contain. You can't stop DTR, but they were able to contain DTR. They did a fantastic job all the way across the board. You could just see the effort was at a high level. Now, again, to your point, Bo, yeah, if they lose to ASU, that's going to suck. But they have a lot still left. They have a home game against Washington State, which they could win at home.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying they will, but they could. And you could be talking about a 5-win Arizona team
playing for a bowl
game against ASU, and honestly, like if that wasn't enough, like let's just say what it is. Sean Aguano, nobody knows whether he's going to stay or not. Who better to put that fire out than the Arizona Wildcats and make it certain that ASU is going to have to find another head coach?
I think that's already gone.
Yeah,
well
that's the
good.
case.
Yeah,
I hope that Wildcats roll.
Well, if you would have listened to the local radio station after the ASU game, it is very much not that vibe, which is the very yeah. I'm listening to 98.7. I'll just say it what it is. I'm listening to the post-game show, and they're taking call after call after call, and like I don't know who the hell was calling this show, but a lot of them were like, oh, I think Aguano should stay. Clearly, he still has the players that are invested. They played hard to the end and all this other stuff. And then they got 300 high school coaches to sign on, and that means everything. That means he has a pulse on the local high school recruiting network and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's it, buddy.
Look, he has done a great job of, keeping the players invested. That's something I mentioned on our post-game show last night, was they played hard till the very end of the game, even though they were getting killed. I just don't know if he's able to take this program to where it needs to go, because like when you're looking at the guys that are available out there, like I know what happened with Oregon last night. I'm sure we'll get there, but Kenny Dillingham, what he's been able to do, you get a guy like that changes what an offense can look like. Like, sure, Hart can take you to the next level, but Hart can only get you so far. And it's a great story. I just don't see it though.
I mean, Dillingham, what he's done with Bo Nix in Eugene, the process, the maturation process from Auburn to Oregon, and how close they were, and the one time that they slip up yesterday with Bo Nix on the sideline, and they inexplicably go for it on 4th and 1 on their own 30, pretty much just flushing their entire season down the toilet. Yeah. But a testament to Dillingham, and then also just how important Nix has been to that program. But yeah, I agree with you, Shane. Being a good guy, being well respected, only goes so far as college football. Unfortunately, you can be romantic about it, but as far as like also getting the results that you necessary to really get the change that this fan base wants, it's not going to be a good guy.
That 4th and 1 play looked like it wasn't a Dillingham thing. It was go. You saw Bo Nix coming to the head coach and pleading to call a timeout. Let me get in the game. And it was an inside zone that he slipped on. I don't mind the call, but
can we raise our expectations too as a fan base here in Arizona? Like we're dealing with it now with the Arizona Cardinals, and people on our show, PHNX Cardinals, saying, well, the Cardinals shouldn't go after Sean Payton. They'll never get a Sean Payton. Well, why not? Yeah. And then Arizona State, it's like, let's just have the status quo. No. You need to go for the biggest fish and then work your way down. Yeah. If you stick with status quo here in the desert, you're going to get the same results. We're going to get middling teams to losing teams, and that's why they're in a predicament like they're in. This offseason for Arizona State, for the Arizona Cardinals, should be about going and getting the big fish that can build foundational programs that can put you back on the national stage. And anything less than that is, I think, a slap in the face to your fan base.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. The expectations should always be higher. But again, I don't really care if it's a big fish or a big name. I need somebody that absolutely knows and has a plan. Like, for instance, none of us really knew who the hell Sean McVay was before he got to the Rams. Right. But clearly, he had a plan, he had a message, and it was convincing enough to get him that job. And holy shit, be one of the best coaches in the NFL, right? Yep. You need somebody that's going to come in that maybe you haven't heard of or don't really understand what they're about, but they have a plan. They have the experience and they have the connections to be able to build a program at a very high level. And more importantly, they've taken the time to understand, because U of A and ASU are in two totally different cities when it comes to college sports. And ASU has a lot more difficulty in terms of trying to be that focal point here in the Valley with so much going on, as opposed to U of A. It's Tucson. It's more built around a college community. So to me, it's a little bit easier to sell a kid to go to a college community like that, because it's all about U of A down there. Whereas up here, as soon as you leave Tempe, you don't really realize it's an ASU kind of vibe around here, right? Yep. So there's a lot of things that are at stake there. But in addition to that, you will not win. I understand the local high school scene has dramatically improved in terms of the talent that comes out of here year in and year out. I am not saying that you can't win with local kids by any stretch of the imagination, but that doesn't mean that you can solely rely on Arizona kids to build a program. Like, you still have to go out and you still have to recruit and build those relationships nationally, and I don't think Sean Aguano's there. I don't think he's been around long enough to be able to build those type of connections and really build his brand amongst coaches in Colorado, in California, in Texas, all those strong communities to build a program. So in regards to Sean Aguano, I don't think he should be the guy. I'm not an ASU guy, obviously. I love where Arizona is at right now. I feel like they are trending up. I think Jed Fish has done a fantastic job. I will say this right now. I saw at least 5 different plays yesterday from Jed Fish that I was like, if Cliff Kingsbury only could. If only he could. Fantastic game. Jaden DeLora, I would say, is the second or third best quarterback in the Pac-12 right now.
I agree with that.
He's special. He's a special kid. The same things that make you want to pull your hair out about him. The very next play,
What?
Jaden DeLora.
Caleb Williams, Bo Nix. I mean, I can rip off.
I think Williams, Nix, and Penix are the 3.
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, but you can make an argument for. I mean,
doesn't mean it's not.
Yeah,
a huge
you
indictment
could
on him,
absolutely make an argument, but in terms of talent, I mean,
no, I'm not saying like projections to the
draft,
NFL or anything.
yeah.
I'm just talking about in the Pac-12 right now. He's as good a quarterback as you'll find out there. I know Caleb Williams is special.
He's a really good college quarterback.
Yeah, but stat-wise, Jaden DeLora is right up there. I mean, he's in the top 3 in just about every statistical category outside of Penix.
And he's doing it with a below-average offensive line and some nice skill players, but not Oregon level.
Can we talk about how every time I look at the screen watching a U of A game, somebody's making a one-handed catch? Those receivers want it so bad. Oh my God.
They're a legit receiving core.
Yeah.
Like legit. I wouldn't even say it's on it's crazy to say that they're a top 3 receiving core in the Pac-12.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think that's crazy.
They're phenomenal.
What are you laughing at?
Absolutely phenomenal.
I love Saul's passion. It's just like,
it's true. Like, and if you just watch these games, like if you just watch the games like I have every single week, like it's not just me saying that, it's the national people that cover the Pac-12. Like if you watch Fox, they're like, Arizona's got one of the top receiving cores in the country because they just make ridiculous plays, and they have players at every single level in terms of their grade, and it just, you don't really notice it because they'll put up 45 points, but they'll still lose 52-45.
Here's how you know you have the right coach in charge, and we're going to be able to see this with the Cardinals here if they go on a losing streak and players quit at the professional level, which we hope does not happen. It hasn't happened yet. U of A had lost 4 straight. They got destroyed by Utah last week. They went on the road this week and won. That tells you they have 100% buy-in with the
Let's
people in
stop
charge.
calling it a road game. God,
all right.
I'm joking.
It was not their home stadium.
It's a jab at UCLA.
Right,
Yeah,
for
not
sure.
not a slight at UA.
I could not, because we thought one time they were going to cruise maybe to a bowl game. At least I did. I picked them to make a bowl game before the year. Then they went through their gauntlet of Washington and Oregon and Utah. And then to come out and win that game yesterday, that's damn impressive.
This is the last thing I'll say on U of A. They have to win next week. The Territorial Cup needs to mean something a little more. Just a little more.
They'll win next week.
Well, yes, I would agree with that because I just know like the emotions will be very high. If they should win next week, that game on Friday will be ugly in here because we'll be watching it here, and there will be some feelings hurt either way. I promise you that. So anyway, we don't really have to get into the rest of the college football slate. Just about everybody that was everybody that was worth a shit. That was in the top 6 outside of Oregon won. They all took care of business. They all didn't leave anything to doubt. TCU almost fumbled the bag, but they held on to it. That's a tough game at Texas.
Yeah.
Do you want to see TCU in the Final Four?
I do.
Quick?
Oh.
I do.
No,
I don't.
I don't either.
It doesn't even give me like the Cincinnati vibes from last year. They're in a bad conference. The Big 12 is down, and they're just the team that's playing the best.
See,
football.
Oklahoma's lost to, was it West Virginia?
Yeah.
It was the first one's in like 2000.
Give me Tennessee,
Quinn Ewers was
Georgia,
awful yesterday
Michigan,
against TCU.
Ohio State. That's what I want.
Quinn Ewers needs
So
to
you-
transfer again so that
How
Vanna
about-
guy.
I
how
want
about
4
Texas?
teams, 2 from
You
the
want-
same
you
conference.
Ewers was 0 for 6, and they throw a deep ball.
Yeah.
I don't want the
0 for 7
ACC.
with a pick.
I don't want the Big 12, and the Pac-12 has nobody deserving.
Yeah.
I want 2 teams from the Big 10, 2 teams from the SEC.
I would agree with the Pac-12 has nobody left.
Oh, no.
And honestly, I think an argument could have been made. Like, I don't want to see Oregon in there because Oregon already got housed by fucking Georgia,
That's
like
right.
43-0. What do I need to see them in there
I wouldn't
for?
mind seeing a one-loss USC team if they can run the table. I wouldn't mind seeing
USC's
them
not that
crack.
good.
No,
I'm
they're
telling
not.
you, I
Their
think
offense is awesome.
But they're better
and
than TCU.
Travis Dye now
I agree
out.
with that.
no way.
Yeah,
They're better than
No.
TCU.
USC
No.
beats TCU on
They
a
are.
neutral field. Yeah.
No, I don't
absolutely
agree
not.
with that at all.
That defense is
What?
terrible.
USC has
I know their defense is terrible, but their offense is elite.
no. USC's offense isn't that fucking
It's good.
amazing.
It's
Caleb
good.
Williams makes that thing go, but
Okay,
but
he's the
their
quarterback.
but their receiving core is not that great.
Yes,
They're
they had a guy who was the top Blotnikoff
They
finalist
just
last
lost
year.
their fucking starting tailback yesterday, so they're not going to be shit.
They turn out tailbacks.
Charles thinks USC's losing to UCLA. Or
Yeah,
Notre Dame.
I agree.
But if they run the table, what are you guys going to say then?
They're not good enough to compete with those
Oh
guys.
my god!
I will say-
they do have a good
You
loss
guys were
against
telling me
Utah,
not to
and it
bet
was close.
USC on Friday minus 34, and they cover.
Who was telling you that?
Your boy Totri.
Cool, Totri doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't listen.
Anytime you reference
Shane
Totri on this
doesn't
show,
claim
you've
Totri.
automatically lost the
Are you kidding
conversation.
me? Against Colorado?
boy.
What are
what
we?
I'm saying.
What are we doing, Anthony? Get some help. UC. I would put all of your chips on UCLA to beat USC just because of what the Pac-12's past
No
is.
way.
Yes.
I mean, I get that.
Fraud
yeah, it can't
chips
get out
been
of its own
exposed.
way. It's cannibalistic.
I don't want to see Michigan and Ohio State both left out because they have NFL players just like the SEC. I know it's not good for college football, but like if I'm going to get the most, do you think TCU is going to be competitive in the Final Four?
I do.
I don't.
We might have to make a bet on that because
All right, Cincinnati all over
your
again.
friends. It's not because that was their schedule was just a joke. TCU actually
Well, hold
plays
on.
in a real
Do
conference.
you think TCU is going to be competitive against Georgia?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get blown out. The only way they don't get blown out is if they play. I don't know. If they play like Michigan, if Michigan wins the Big Ten and they go undefeated, that game will be close for like a half.
But see, the thing with TCU is the thing that I like about them is they've basically played every version of football,
Right. I agree with
possible. Okay, they play against an aired out, program like Oklahoma, beat them easily. They played against a team that just is very focused on the run in Kansas State, beat them, and Kansas State's a top 20 team. Like they've played a variety of different teams that show you different things, and they've met the test every single time. They got 2 more games left. They're going to be tough games. Well, not tough games. I mean, they've kind of gotten
They're going
through the
undefeated.
gauntlet.
They're going undefeated.
They've gone through the gauntlet. My thing is that TCU, to me, they have stepped up to the occasion just about every single time, even when I didn't think they could. And so, I mean, why not? I want an undefeated team in there for sure. I don't want to see somebody with 1 loss have the chance to overcome somebody that's undefeated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to see that.
Completely agree with
So
that.
if Ohio State loses or Michigan loses, they're gone. That's your playoff right there. Like that's part of this playoff. You got to go. And I think was it Tennessee against LSU or Georgia against LSU in the SEC. Obviously Georgia will probably win that, so that'll get rid of LSU and all this
Jaden
fucking
Daniels.
buffoonery.
Come on now.
LSU has no business. being
Well,
a college
they had a
football playoff
letdown game yesterday after the big win last week. That was very predictable. It
Yeah.
was very predictable.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I got a good transition to get us out of here.
let's go.
So the Tom Brady's are closing it out right now. The Tom Brady's are going to win the game. But if you remember this whole week, I don't know if you guys listened to me talk, but
don't.
this whole week on our fantasy show, on bets, on everything, I've been saying Rashad White stock. It's going up. They're going to go to him more. 22 for 105 is what his stat line is
He's
finishing.
a stud, man.
Century mark for the Arizona State running back. And if you would have known that beforehand, or you would have listened to me, you could have taken us higher on Underdog Fantasy with their pick'em game. It's the most fun way to get in on the NFL on NFL Sundays. You can combine your favorite or least favorite players, look at their totals, and you can say if they're going to go higher or lower on their stats. Combine up to 5 of them in their pick'em game and win 20 times your money in a single day. Sign up with promo code PHNX and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. It's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PHNX. Get in on the action today. Congratulations, Rashad White and Tom Brady.
Obviously, as we always sit here with our fine beverages from Four Peaks.
So good.
I'm drinking the peach. Johnny's got the wow. Shane's got the wow. And then Bo over here's got the pumpkin porter.
Yeah,
Pumpkin.
that and the
Keep it
USC
pumpkin.
Kool-Aid as well. That I'm
That's exactly what he's drinking over there. The rest of us are not drinking that. But please enjoy responsibly. You got to be 21 and over. But more importantly, they also have phenomenal things going on over there at their pub, including the World Cup coming to town. We're gonna sit there and watch every single Mexico and every single U.S. game possible, starting next Monday as the U.S. takes on Wales. Yeah.
We got the Cardinals game and we got the World Cup
Oh
match
yeah,
that day.
it's
That's awesome.
crazy. It's a crazy day. Yeah. You should see next Friday, which will be I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna go ahead and table it. It's called Sports Mecca Weekend, just because you have the U of A rivalry game, or the rivalry game, I should say, and then you have England against the U.S. that day as well. Just a lot of action going on all day long. It's gonna be fun. So please come check us out over there. You can look at our website to find out more details, or just peruse the socials, because that's what we do.
1776 bitches. Throw it in their face right now.
Jesus. Real quick on Rashad White. I knew Rashad White was the real deal because I watched a good amount of ASU football last year when Saul and I were at the Combine, and he was one of the most physically imposing people at the Combine, not only for running backs, but in general. He looks like a franchise NFL runner, and I'm happy to see him do well.
He's patient and runs hard, and a product of Sean Iguana.
And Herm Edwards.
And I drafted my fantasy team in this work setup. So I'm actually.
Did you play him
Did you start him today?
I did play him. Nice. You're right. Take that, Toach. I'm not beating
Bo's
Toach
trying to
here.
avoid a Waffle House.
Oh man, you know what's so funny is did you lose last week?
I did because Patrick Mahomes is a
Yeah.
he's a
So
horror
Bo
movie
was
monster.
talking all types of shit to Cheerston, and Cheerston was fighting back, kind of, until at the end when she came back, she started talking a lot of shit
After the fact.
Bo's gonna find himself a Waffle House, and this is just
Now here's a reason
dramatic
to
turn
root
of
for me.
events.
Here's a reason to root for your boy is that Cheerston, we love her,
Are we
but
gonna-
Cut this clip,
are we
Emma.
gonna-
she's already saying that she's not. If she loses, she's not going to Waffle House. I would fully accept my punishment because I pay off all my bets. So you should root for me, Bo Brock.
And I will be there to help you eat your waffles.
Thank you, because you're my boy.
Honestly, I will say this. I feel like it's already been, it's kind of been on the PHNX underground that whoever goes to Waffle House, like a lot of us are going to go because we just want to go to Waffle House. Waffle House is goated.
It is.
Like, I don't understand why.
Give me my hash browns,
Full
mushed,
disclosure,
chopped,
never
and slopped.
Yes,
Come
there
on.
you go,
been.
baby.
I've only been to.
You've never been to a
no,
Waffle
I've been to
House?
IHOP. I've been to Denny's. I haven't been to Waffle
Oh,
House.
The
man.
best part was
Are
when
you-
Cheerson was upset about going, because, I mean, listen, it's not the healthiest place, 100%. Somebody has to eat 24 waffles to get eliminated from doing it, but each waffle, over 400 calories, my God.
Yeah. Now, it's a legit argument, but still, like, you signed up.
It's almost more fun to root for who's going to lose than who even cares about who's going to win that league.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically between us two in terms of who's going to win because, I mean.
Shane, train me all your good players.
No.
All right.
My team's such a
Emma,
wagon.
survey says, Cerveza, what you got for us today? You have to step up your energy.
Yeah.
Emma, good morning. Hello.
Emma, let's go.
Wake up,
Open
Emma.
up your mouth when you talk.
Good
Let's
morning,
go.
Emma. Say it back.
All right. It's like the female version of Matthew McConaughey over here. All right.
Okay. So, we're going to be playing some Hard Knocks trivia because the
Sweet.
first episode of Hard Knocks just came out. Quick game we got for us. Very easy, very fast. Rules. If you're going to answer, hold up a beer
Okay.
and then speak. Okay?
Okay.
Will you call upon the person who went up first?
Yeah.
You can't have it halfway up already, Johnny. Already finding a way to cheat.
Yeah.
Fucking. All right. Anyway. So pretty much you just have to tell me the player name or whatever is missing in the blank, okay?
Okay.
So this player got hurt on a 17-yard run. Saul.
Buda Baker.
Nope.
Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Damn. Who is narrated to be the heart of the team? Johnny.
Buda Baker.
Okay, let me finish my question before you bring
That's
it
not
up.
a rule. No.
Bitch, my game. I make the rules.
Call upon him. Just let him hold his hand up.
Okay. The Seahawks' blank passes were coaching point.
Bootleg.
There we go. Bootleg.
I blocked that out.
The boot.
Which player asked about Hall of Fame? Saul.
DeAndre Hopkins.
There we go. All right. Who was followed through the stadium at the opening? Bo.
Kyler Murray.
There we go. All right, last one. Who flew their own plane?
Michael Bidwell.
We played a game on, if you didn't watch PHNX Cardinals, Hard Knocks After Dark, we played a game called Cards Bingo, Hard Knocks Bingo, and it was Michael Bidwell flies his plane. What else was on that?
J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt.
Up, right?
Yeah, being a dad, talking about his, kids, that good stuff. What was we
Did
didn't
you have
get,
Geno Smith being him on your?
Oh.
we didn't get Kyler Murray playing video games. That we'll push that to a future week. Cliff's house was on there, absolutely. We spent a good amount of time at Cliff Kingsbury's house, which I thought was the highlight of the show. And then it took, in my opinion, a little bit of a nosedive because it's hard to watch my Cardinals right now not do well, and then I have to relive it in premium cable television, that being
It's not
HBO.
cable. It's HBO.
Doug Allen in the chat asking, how do we watch Hard Knocks without HBO? You probably pirated off the internet somewhere. I don't know. Get creative.
Just get somebody's password. Get somebody's username.
Share an
and password.
HBO Max password.
Johnny will share his with you. Just DM him.
Man of the people.
Oh my gosh. What is that the end of the game?
Yes.
Well, that was a short-lived game. That was fun.
I told you guys it was
but
gonna
what
be
isn't short-lived is the DraftKings Sportsbook app, which you can use promo code PHNX and download, and get yourself a lot of free cash, including new customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 your team wins, if your team wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use promo code PHNX. That's promo code PHNX on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Minimum age eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. But that's not all, because now that leads us in to our favorite DraftKings section of this show, which is Tap That App. Let's go. We're going to give you all the props. We're going to give you all the locks, and we're going to give you all the
drops.
There we go.
Drop it.
Let's go, baby. We will start off with Bo. Bo, what is your prop for today?
Let me say this before we start. This is how much confidence I have in this whole crew. Everybody's locked today. I'm going to parlay on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. $10 each and see how I do. So no pressure.
Okay.
I want your locks to be absolute mortal locks. The Shane Defen lock, I need to hear it, and it needs to hit. My prop that I'm looking at today, Chase Claypool, his second game with the Bears, his receptions is 2.5. He had 2 catches in his debut for the Bears. He's going against the lowly Lions. That defense stinks. I think Chase Claypool continues to pick up the Bears offense. I like Justin Fields. I like that passing attack a lot more than I did 2 weeks ago. Give me Chase Claypool with his over and receptions 2.5.
Is this the CHGO tailgate show? Because I'm on the Bears as well this morning. This is my favorite prop. I did it on Bets with Shano on Friday. Justin Fields. It's a specialty on DraftKings. Hopefully it's available and you can boost it.
Are you going with the Fields of Dreams?
I am.
Damn it! That was mine!
Justin Fields over 100 yards
Dude,
rushing.
can I just stop you? This is really bad because we're all on this. The public likes it. This is not hitting. This is not hitting.
Lions defense, bro.
I have a Justin Fields prop as well. That was the Defen lock over the weekend.
He's the most fun quarterback to watch right now because the team has no business, being as fun as they are. Over 200 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing, plus 700 on DraftKings. It's boosted up there. I think it's going to hit. And you know what? I think it hits before the fourth quarter. I think he has his best game as a pro. Lions back set. Lions back set. What did you just say to me, motherfucker? Lions back 7 is trash. Remember what Geno Smith did to this Lions defense? 48 points. I think Justin Fields, we're going to look up 150 yards rushing, something like that, 250 yards passing, multiple touchdowns in Soldier Field. This is the coronation of Justin Fields today, and I laugh at San Francisco because they didn't want him, and I laugh at New England, and I laugh at these teams like Denver who passed on him, and I think he is clearly, after today, he's going to be the best quarterback in this draft class.
Well, I am frantically trying to scramble to find something different than the Chicago Bears. So I will give you this.
Just double down with me.
No, I'm not going to, because then Shane's going to triple down on you, and I didn't want to do that. So let's just do this. Let's make it easy. How about this? On the DraftKings Sportsbook app, there's another parlay that you can take advantage of, and it's great teams cover. I don't think these are any great teams, but I digress. Cowboys -3 versus the Packers. Giants -3 versus the Texans. And Titans -1 versus the Broncos. I like all those teams to cover. I like all those teams to win big. And I think that's an easy plus 420 for you. So take that to the bank.
No such thing as an easy plus 420 because Russell Wilson's coming out today with his wristband. And he's winning. I'm just kidding.
No. He wasn't able to high knee on his way into the stadium today.
Defense lock over the weekend was Justin Fields over 57.5 rushing yards. I don't know if that total has changed. I would assume it has gone up.
On that parlay, it's 70.
Let's see. Rushing and receiving, he is at 62. Holy hell. I still like it. I gave it to you guys over the weekend at 57.5. I still like it at 62.5. Taking it over on rushing yards.
All right. So that's your prop. What's your lock?
My lock is the under in the Jags and Chiefs game.
You dog. You took mine.
This is too high.
Scrambled your
whenever a line gets near double digits, usually lean under. And especially with Kansas City and Jacksonville. Jacksonville is I think they're just going to try to run the ball today even when they're down. Trevor Lawrence has not looked good. So I'm taking the under 51.5 in that game.
I am going to take the under as well on the Cardinals-Rams game today. I think this is going to be the most abysmal game you've ever watched.
Well, don't say that. It'll be fun.
Season.
Come watch our postgame show.
I think this game is going to be like 10-9 because I don't think that Kyle, I don't expect Kyler to play. Rumor is that he's already out, but it's still a game time decision on paper. Stafford is questionable as well. You have Byron Murphy that's questionable. You have Budda Baker who's questionable. Who even though they said earlier in the week he might be out.
The latest 0% chance.
The latest report we're hearing is he's going to give it a go to test it out in pregame warm-ups.
And we're getting John Wolford, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yes. So it might be a Colt McCoy versus a John Wolford matchup. McCoy should have the edge, but again, I think it's going to be like 10-9.
Who's his head coach?
I am not commenting on that.
Can I get a John Wolford?
But we're looking
touchdown?
at 38.5. I'm taking the under. I think this is going to be a really, really horrible game. But hopefully the Cardinals win.
John Wolford anytime touchdown is plus 700 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now.
Yeah, that's hitting. Listen, Cards Rams is my favorite game by default, but there's a 1A to that, and it's going down in Vegas today. So
yes,
the Las Vegas Raiders -4 against Jeff Saturday off the street, coaching with fucking ridiculous Jim Irsay, probably in his headset. Here's what I will say: my lock of the week is Raiders -4. But if you don't feel confident in that, then you can hedge your own bet and find a line to get Josh McDaniels fired, because if the Raiders lose today, Josh McDaniels will be fired tomorrow. So if you can find a line somewhere with Josh, if Josh McDaniels loses to Jeff Saturday off the street, and exactly what's going down with the Vegas Raiders, you best believe he's getting fired tomorrow.
It is crazy, though.
Don't you agree with me if they lose?
Probably. I think it definitely has the chance to happening. It's a first-year coach. Like stuff had to go really wrong, and it has. Like,
if you can't lose to Jeff Saturday and keep your job.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory though about the Raiders?
No. What is it?
Is that they're purposely trying to throw this away so that way they can let David Carr go and Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Why did I say David?
David Carr would be awesome.
Wow. Derek Carr go.
Bring David
so
Carr
they can get a different quarterback in the system.
But it's just.
Because Josh McDaniels wants his
they
guy.
signed Chandler Jones. They thought they were going to be good this year. They have 2 wins. If they lose today, they're 2-7.
We all told them not to sign Chandler Jones.
Well, yeah, that's true. Chandler's just cashing fat checks. But I think the Raiders win today. I think they cover. I don't think this game is close. If it is, though, and Jeff Saturday off the street with no coaching experience beats Josh McDaniels, he's getting fired.
You make it sound like every coach that comes
homeless.
in here is just homeless.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to it. I mean, he was coaching high school
Jim
football.
Irsay looks homeless right now. Did you
my
see him at that
God.
press conference? He's like, we don't like analytics here. He's like, he hasn't been corrupted by the coaching system.
That was an all-time.
It was so good.
Off the wall.
He isn't
press
scared.
conference.
All right, Bo, what you got?
All right, so I scrambled and I found a spread I like. I like the Dolphins at home against the Browns, 3.5.
Trap game.
I mean, it seems like a trap, sure, but I still like Miami's ability to put some points up on the board, and Jacoby Brissett and crew, they're not going to be able to keep up. Unless they get that ground game going, I don't think it happens. Dolphins cover 3.5. That's my lock of the week. My Bo Brock lock.
What's your drop?
My drop? Man, I mean, looking at that Giants-Texans game.
Oh no, that's a slapper.
You think that
I'm all over the Giants.
They run away with that one?
Yeah.
I mean, Texans played Philly tight last week.
Exactly.
I'm kind of staying away from that game.
All right.
My drop, it's unfortunate because you look at this game like a couple weeks ago, it looks like a banger. I don't know what to make of Minnesota at Buffalo. Josh Allen is supposedly going to play. The line you told me when you were driving in, it was
It's back to 6.5.
It's 6.5.
Josh Allen, he was activated. Nobody saw him, and then people just saw him come out to warm up. So
Minnesota's been playing really good football.
yeah,
and
6.5 with Josh Allen playing.
Minnesota hasn't played anybody.
Well,
Come on,
I don't. I don't like this one where we've said this all year. Buffalo is too Josh Allen dependent. They have no other layers to their offense. They cannot run the football. Minnesota, for all their faults, like they have different dimensions of their team they can beat you with. They've got a robust receiving core. They've got Dalvin Cook. Their pass rush is really good. I watched Buffalo lose to Zach Wilson. Okay, so all I'm saying is I could see Buffalo winning outright and covering. I could see them losing outright. So I don't want this game.
Minnesota will forever be a fraud. They will always be a second-tier franchise. I don't care what anybody says.
Not at 11 a.m.
Hey, listen.
Not when Kirk Cousins is playing at 11 a.m.
Well, I mean, hey, listen. I'm content with saying that the Cardinals are not there. They're not one of the premier organizations in football. They haven't won a Super Bowl, so you can't even be in the conversation until you do that. But neither have the Minnesota Vikings, and they've been there way more times. They're all frauds. I don't like Minnesota. I'm not touching anything in that game because I'm not sure what Josh Allen's going to look like. I also don't like Kirky in the cold, so I'm not touching any of that.
Love Kirky in the
didn't
cold.
like him on the plane wearing all that bling?
Dude, that shit went so hard. My drop is the Cowboys and Packers. The Packers are going to win this game. It's just going to happen, and I don't want to bet on it because it's just the most it's the most NFL thing ever. The Cowboys are only 3.5 favorites. Like you think that defensive line and Micah Parsons is going to give Aaron Rodgers fits, but you don't know. It's still Aaron Rodgers. I'm staying the hell away from this game.
Listen, the only way that the Packers could possibly win that game is if the Cowboys don't show up. I don't think so. The Packers are just on the lowest of all-time lows right now, and I don't care what you think about Aaron Rodgers and how great he is proving that you at least have to have one competent receiver on your squad that could play at a high level to be successful in the NFL, and they don't have that, and they're abysmal on the offensive side of the ball. So they paid all that money for Aaron Rodgers. Well, take it on the chin there, freaking Packers fans, because you suck too.
And there was the reports earlier this week that the rest of the team was sick of Aaron Rodgers scapegoating them.
Here's when
talk about coaches losing teams. The quarterback's losing his team.
I think we could see Jordan Love play the last month of the season. I think they could shut Rodgers down and just say, we got to see what we have in Jordan Love before we have to pay him in the spring. His fifth-year option's coming up. I would not put these could be the last couple games Aaron Rodgers plays this year.
He needs to go back, do ayahuasca again, and refine himself.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's going to trade for Rodgers at this point.
Yeah, I mean the contract is
after you see what happened with Russell Wilson, and how basically the Broncos got fleeced. Do you really want to run the risk of paying some guy $50+ million a year to play half-ass quarterback?
I think
Shanahan might do it.
Yeah, I think he could end up in San Francisco because Trey Lance is a huge bust.
You guys think the Broncos got fleeced?
Shane, get that dirty tongue out of here.
All right. Well, if you're if you're interested in going to see any of these games,
no offense.
Stop. No offense sucks. He's terrible.
Andrew Luck.
At least half of our audience watches this show and all our other shows. And they're not local. They're all like across the country. So if you are interested in watching any of these games in person, use the Game Time app. The Game Time app is phenomenal. You will save up to 60% on tickets. We have the link that is in our show notes. I'm sure Emma might drop the link as well in our chat. You can click on that, save yourself up to 60% on any kind of tickets. Also, I would procrastinate as much as possible.
Yeah.
Wait till the very last minute because typically those prices go down.
Unless you need to go to Germany for this game.
Unless you need to go to Germany.
69,000 strong singing "Take Me Home, Country Roads."
Also, the wait list for that game. The waitlist for that game was up to 3 million people in Munich. Is that not crazy?
Well, I heard that the beer was going to cost a lot. Did you see that?
It's because they give it to you in Das Boot.
It was like $92 a beer. Did you see
Shut
that?
the
What?
hell
No, I seriously
There's
saw
no
that.
way.
Maybe it was a parody account, but somebody's.
there's no way.
I thought I saw something like it was
There's
almost
no
like $100 a beer.
No, in Germany?
Yeah.
No, Germany's like the home of beer. That it would be cheaper there. It'd be like
Oktoberfest.
92 cents a
Okay.
beer, maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Where are you
John-
going to carry
John
that
just
much
saying
cash
stuff.
in your lederhosen?
All right, let's
Get me
get
off
to the
the
flight
show.
risk.
Oh, man.
Where we got to talk about the Arizona
Do we
Cardinals
have to?
against the Los
Do you mind if I
Angeles
just-
Rams.
Johnny died.
Listen. There's a lot of things that we don't like about what are going on. I actually do value the Hard Knocks stuff because it gives us a little bit more insight into
Yes.
the ineptitude of Cliff Kingsbury, which I very much like because I'm off the Cliff train. I've been off the Cliff train.
You were.
Cliff and company they just have so far to go. I felt like we were right there. And watching what has happened behind the scenes this week really kind of made me not feel so hunky-dory about, because everything was just like, all right, you hear me, yeah, okay, cool, let's do this. All right, guys, hey, you hear me, you feel me, all right, cool, all right, let's go. Like, dude, I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, you just don't have command of this. The ship is completely gone off the rails.
Yeah,
the train.
it's gonna be a hard watch today. Hard Knocks to hard watch here on a Sunday with Colt McCoy versus John Wolford, and we're gonna see a superior coach just say, you know what, my team's banged up, but yeah, I've got a backup. He's a joke, but I'm gonna put up 21 points and I'm gonna beat Cliff Kingsbury today. And I think it's going to be the low point offensively for Cliff today. I don't want that to happen. It's like watching a car wreck. You can't look away. I think the Cardinals are going to struggle to score double-digit points today. And again, part of it's due to injury. Kyler's not going to play. Their offensive line is completely disheveled. I don't even know what combination they're going to go with. But outside of maybe a splash play here to Hopkins and James Conner running well, it's Cliff Kingsbury. And here's what bothers me the most is that I told Bo this. I know Kyler Murray's hampered and he's got his hamstring. Josh Allen didn't practice all week and he's got an elbow and he's playing today. And I do think there's a sense of we can't have Kyler lose to John Wolford because that would expose us. So we might as well play it safe, backup versus backup. Oh, Kyler didn't play.
Oh.
I think there's a dynamic to that. Now, nobody's going to buy that, but I said earlier this week I thought they were going to try to use the Kyler Murray injury card to their benefit, and now Matthew Stafford officially out.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you would think that he would want to be in the lineup and see that this Rams team is down. Now, this Rams team is actually where the Arizona Cardinals were a week ago because of their bye week. They're 3-5. So if they win, they're 4-5. They continue to be in the NFC playoff picture. Where the Arizona Cardinals at 3-6, it feels like this is a lost season. So, and the team is operating like that with the idea that Kyler Murray, who played pretty much 3/4 of that game last week with a tender hamstring, the fact that they can't get him out there or they won't get him out there is a testament to or an indictment on this offensive line where Cliff Kingsbury said they're going to play several different combinations of this thing and ride with whoever's playing the best.
That's
when you
worked
hear
before.
like the players that are up for that,
What a
it's-
fucking terrible strategy.
it
Like,
is.
literally.
It's awful. It's rearranging chairs on the Titanic. That somebody said in our show. I mean, it's exactly what it is, and it's just going to be. Sean McVay has lost once to the Arizona Cardinals.
Once.
Dating back to Bruce
And that's
Arians.
when this team had a full deck. This is when they were dealt 4 aces earlier last year, and they had a full strength squad. They haven't been there since, and this is going to be a tough one. Now, why are we so confident that Kyler Murray is not going to play? I mean, people are saying it's 50-50. The report from ESPN is Colt McCoy's friends. This is what ESPN reported. Colt McCoy's friends were calling for a, quote, bunch of tickets to the game today. So they want to go see their boy under center in the shotgun for the Arizona Cardinals. That's what people are going off of. So I think Kyler Murray, there's a way better chance that he'll play than Matthew Stafford, but there's a good chance this is going to be a battle to back
This
up.
is what I'm looking forward to is the absolute atrocity that will ensue if Colt McCoy comes out, plays well like he has shown before, and they win. And they're like, everybody's gonna be like, oh, see how much this offense performs with Colt McCoy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not here for it.
I can't deal with that either.
What Colt McCoy does do better than Kyler Murray is distribute the ball to his playmakers, and he gets this offense in a better rhythm, and is able to kind of maybe combat the play calling.
Well, they play him under center too.
They play him under center. He gets the ball out way quicker. He knows exactly what to do with the football, it feels like. But also you want to see Colt McCoy at his worst, you just watch the tape against Carolina. LA is fully capable of doing what Carolina did and just game wrecking that thing from the very
especially
jump.
with that.
Who's blocking Aaron
lackluster-
Donald
Yeah,
today?
that was
No
what I
one.
was about to say. That offensive line is. We'll see.
You know what my favorite thing? You know that meme of the guy looking in the window going, yes, this is what I feel like.
Sicko meme.
Yeah, when I'm watching games like this.
Yeah.
It fires me up so much. They're gross, they're disgusting, and they're so fun to bet on. And I can't wait. And that's why I love the NFL, because you get gross stuff like this.
Vance Joseph.
Bring back Andy Isabella.
Vance Joseph
Come on.
could potentially be the interim coach at some point this season. I do think today he can make a staple for himself. Stop laughing. He can make a staple for himself if he pitches. Let's say he pitches a shutout and they win by 6-0 or 9-0 or something like that.
Barf.
I am rooting for the Cardinals. I'm rooting for Vance Joseph today to say, okay, put the offense away for a second. We know the Rams are a horrific offensive team as well. Let's look on the defensive side of the ball. Cardinals, we're going to see if Byron Murphy plays. We're going to see if Budda Baker, he could play potentially today. This could be a Vance Joseph resume game for next spring, either for this job or a future DC job somewhere else. I root for Vance Joseph to do well. He's a likable human being. I think he's outcoached Cliff Kingsbury considerably this year. And I think this is a defensive game. And I think J.J. Watt and Zach Allen could have big games. So I'm not throwing this up as a loss for the Cardinals, but I do think it's Vance versus McVay. It's not Cliff versus McVay.
Two years ago, we saw the Cardinals with a chance to make it to the playoffs on the line in L.A., and it was Wolford against Strevler.
Oh, God.
Remember
Let's
those?
go.
Tyler started that game.
This game, yeah, but he also had a bad hamstring, ironically enough.
Lower leg, right? Was it
Yeah.
ankle?
Something
I
like
thought
that.
it was a hamstring.
It was a leg injury.
But ironically enough, here we are right back to that spot with, listen, the Cardinals lose today, it's over. They're not making the playoffs. I mean, you might even make the argument that that's the case right now. Sure. But 3-6, you fall to 3-7. You only got 7 games left. That's just almost an impossible mountain to climb. So you got to win today. You got to win today just to stay in it and stay in the conversation. At least give the facade that you have a chance, right? But you lose today, it's over. And I feel like this game is going to be just a brutal, low-scoring game. Whoever takes advantage of field position and turnovers will win. I don't think it's going to be a shootout by any stretch of the imagination.
Cardinals are on their 3rd kicker of the year. Vizcaino is going to play, so no Prater. So you talk about the emphasis on special teams and kicking. The Arizona Cardinals don't have the edge there against the Rams. So if it comes down to a field goal game, what's the trust factor going to be there? But to your point, I mean, if you're on life support, it's got to be WWE wrestling. Kyler Murray's music has to come on with everybody expecting him to sit out. You got to say, hey, there's Kyler Murray's music. He's coming out. He should play. He's got the same thing that happened on Friday when I was shocked. It was like seeing a ghost with Budda Baker, who was reportedly out for the next 2 to 3 weeks, full practicing, moving around with a high ankle sprain, and we can't get the same. Like what's Bill Davis said on Hard Knocks. Said if we could have 11 Budda Bakers, this defense would be special. You need, on the offensive side of the ball, the same needs to be said.
So are you criticizing Kyler Murray?
In a sense, yeah. For sure. He needs to force his way onto the field in this situation.
So you want him to play hurt?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he played hurt in that game.
He did.
And I thought he played okay in the second half.
Like we said earlier this week, I mean, the playoff chances have pretty much been dashed for the Arizona Cardinals, but the fact remains that Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray have beat Sean McVay once. Like, you have to change. The only thing you can do right now is change the narrative around this team.
Isn't it crazy?
He's so upset that his watch is telling him to stand up.
Yeah.
Says I'm having I was pointing out how he's had the football the entire time. Kept the composure.
I do. This is the first time that I've heard Bo Brock and I have done this show for a while now that I've heard Bo be critical of Kyler Murray kind of off the field. Like, hey, Kyler, toughen up and play. Josh Allen is playing. They're coming off a bad loss against the Jets. I do think Kyler Murray is going to hear it from critics if he doesn't play today. Because, listen, you can't put your team in a position to lose to John Wolford. The offensive line is what it is, but no one outside of Arizona wants to hear about the offensive line issues. And Kyler Murray now has a stigma, gentlemen. If he doesn't play today, this will be 3 consecutive years in a row that he does not finish a full season. 2020, 2021, and now this year. And now who knows? Like if he doesn't play today, I don't think there's any guarantee he plays against the Niners on
Monday night.
Oh
my God!
Remember last year it was like, yeah, he might play, and then he didn't play. He would practice, and then he didn't play. Like that's a problem, and it's also a problem for the Cardinals that last year I thought part of it was the contract issue. He wants to get paid. He's got his money now, and the Cardinals probably need him to tough it out for games like this. If you're Keim and Cliff Kingsbury. And again, I've got the tinfoil hat on thinking they don't want to play Kyler and lose to John Wolford. But I also think, like, Cliff's trying to fight for his job. You know, I think he would prefer Kyler play. Is this a Kyler call at the end of the day?
Your $46.1 million quarterback has to be a better option at 70%, 60% than Colt McCoy.
Do they think their offensive line is just that bad, though? That they can't even field a competent interior offensive line?
Like I said earlier this week, Kyler Murray needs to turn it into the quarterback. He needs to elevate his game that elevates the rest of the team's game and overcome situations like that.
Bo, sounds like you've hit the wall on Kyler Murray, much like I have hit the wall on DeAndre Ayton.
You're anti-Ayton now, huh?
Well, no, I don't think he's anti. He's not saying that's what.
Much like how
that's probably what you have to deal with on a daily basis. That any kind of criticism of this guy.
Why do you hate Kyler Murray? Is the question.
It's much like how I've hit a wall with Anthony Totri as well. Yeah. Every time I start to criticize him, Sean's like, "Well, hold on." I'm like,
like, no, he's not playing up to speed, man. What the fuck? No, it is largely like that. You know, you can only give a guy so many excuses and so much, you know, leeway to prove that he is the guy before he proves to you that he is not the guy. And I feel like, Bo, from what I'm hearing, is like you're getting close to that point where you're like,
God, those two guys just signed huge contracts.
I know,
but they can sign all the contracts they want, but if they don't do shit on the field to take your team to a higher level when you need them the most in a 3-6 season, it doesn't fucking matter.
So Bo and Saul want to trade Kyler Murray and DeAndre.
That's not what is happening here.
I will say it's a bad look for Kyler if Buddha plays and Kyler Murray doesn't. That's a bad
look. 1,000,000%.
That's a really bad
1,000,000%. All right. Well, folks, that was a lively discussion for the last hour. I quite enjoyed that. You can catch us here every single week. Also, reminder, this week we got some huge news coming up with my hands. Huge news coming up in terms of our memberships. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. We have Black Friday deals that are coming up here in 2 weeks. You're going to have an opportunity to get your hands on a lot of merch at a discounted price, gift cards, gift boxes, the whole thing, for the holidays. So please check us out at gophnx.com. You can buy all this fantastic gear. I got the Zen shirt. Johnny's got the "maybe we're just effing better even though we're not" shirt.
This crew's better.
Bo's got the PHNX shirt, and my guy's got the Daniel Nyado shirt for Sun Devils. So a lot of crate gear. Please check it out. Go phnx.com or phnxlocker.com for the merch. We appreciate you joining us this week on the PHNX Tailgate. We'll see you next Sunday, even though the Cardinals play on Monday. We will see you next Sunday and next Monday, 2 times next week. Let's go for the PHNX Tailgate as we get you prepped for all the fantastic fun in football land. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Ta-ta.